Hi, this is Lady Lex UK and this is a Dreams tutorial. Today I'm going to be looking at combo attacks. Now, there are a lot of combo attacks out there, some of them more complicated than others. I've tried to create a really simple one that a beginner could use. This is not necessarily the absolute best way of doing it, and there are more advanced ways of working on combo attacks that are better than this. But this is a starting point that you can progress a bit later on onto more complicated things. But if you're just a beginner and you want to do a very simple combo attack, then here is a starting point for you. Okay, so here is my player. I've created some combo moves for him, and I've not gone into any great detail with this animation, so it's incredibly basic just for the purposes of this demo. Right, so if I press my square button, he's going to lift his left arm. Okay, so if I press my square button quickly, twice, he does his left arm and his right arm. If I press it 3 times quickly, he does his left arm, his right arm, and then his foot. So this is a sequence combo using a same button. So square, 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 square. Boom. There we go. That's our sequence. Let me show you how that is done. So I've put it all in the Puppet Logic. So you open the Puppet Logic and I've popped it in the controller section. Here is my microchip. And as you can see, it's linked at my square button. Whoops. Here we go. I've relabeled that as a little person so I know that it's involving movement. So here is my microchip. So the square button goes into this signal manipulator. This is just to make sure that I'm getting a pulse and not a signal. So if you hold the button down, it shouldn't cause a problem because it's only going to create a pulse. In the first instance, as soon as you press it down, it's going to create a pulse. So holding it down is not going to affect this. So that's what that is doing. So I've put the square into the signal manipulator and out it comes. And what I've done is I've chosen pulse on, input on. So it creates a pulse when a signal is received. That's what that is doing. Right. Up here I have a selector, and that is connected to this variable. This variable I've called attack. And I haven't changed any of these, but you could change this with a minimum value of 0 if you wanted. And then however many there is if you wanted to change this, but you don't actually need to. It's not necessary. Right, I've wired up the current value of this variable to the active port on this selector. So this is going to determine which attack we're going to play. And if we look at the selector, we've got a port empty, that's going to be our 0, and then there's 1, 2 and 3. Right, let's have a look at the signal. When you press the signal, it's connecting to this timer and this variable modifier. This variable modifier here is looking for the attack variable, and it's adding 1 to the value. So every time you press the button, it's going to add 1 to this variable, which is then going to go through this selector. So if you press it once, you'll get B. If you press it twice, you'll get C. If you press it 3 times, you'll get D. Now, the reason that you can press 1 and then press 1 and then press 1 and it will just do the one move is because we've got a resetting timer here. This timer is set to 0.6 seconds. And every time it finishes that timer, it then changes this variable modifier, which sets it back to 0. So you've got 0.6 seconds to press a button. If you don't press the button within 0.6 seconds, it's going to reset it back to 0, and we're back to pushing a button and getting 1. So if you push the button twice, you'll get 2. If you push the button 3 times, you'll get 3. That's how this is going to work. So in this case, we've got a sequence. So it's going to do all of them in turn. So you press it once, you're going to get 1. You press it twice, you're going to get 1 and 2. If you press it 3 times, you'll get 1, 2 and 3. So it's a sequence. What it's looking for here is, have you pressed the button and what number is it? Is it, if it's B, then it's going to play the keyframe, which is this one, which is hand up in the air, or this one, which is the other hand up in the air, or this timeline. This timeline is the kick, and this time I've got a counter, so it's going to activate a counter which activates the timeline. When the animation is finished, it then resets the timer. I don't know why that's connected to that. There we go. There we are. Let's make sure that still works. I don't know why I had that connected to different places. Right, square, 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 square. Boop. There we go. Right, now, what if you wanted the combo to play either of these? Not in sequence, but if you press it once, you get the punch. If you press it twice, you get the right arm. If you press it 3 times, you get that. So what we've got here is a timer. I've set that to 0.4 seconds. And I'm going to delete all these connections to the square button push. And I'm going to link this timer up instead. So there's a delay now between you pushing the button and it deciding which one of these to select. So 0.4 seconds just about gives me enough time to push my sequence. And so now when I do it, if I press square, I get that left arm. If I press square, square, I just get the right arm. I don't get the left arm as well. If I square, 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 I just get the leg. So that's how you would do a simple combo for just a single button. Now, if you wanted to do a combo with multiple buttons, then it's exactly the same. So you would create one of these selectors, one of these variables, all these variable modifiers, these timers. You would do all of this again, but for your other button. And you add that in, and then you would work out your combinations. So you would use these some more AND gates. So you would be looking for say B here and B on your other selector. Let's say it's a triangle. So you're looking for B and B, and then you'd get your combo. So your keyframe or your timeline. So that's how you would do that. You would just work out your combinations. So square, square, triangle, for example. So you're looking for C and B. You see? So square, square, triangle, triangle, you're looking for C and C. Square, triangle, triangle, you're looking for B and C. I think you can see how that would work. So you just use AND gates, work out your combinations, and that will work out which keyframe to use, whether it's a timeline or a keyframe. And there you go. So that's a simple combo attack. There, like I say, there are other ways of doing it, but that, as a beginner, is the easiest way of creating a combo attack. And there are lots of ways that you can improve on that. If you have made a combo attack that you think gives you more versatility and is better, I'd love to hear from you. Please leave a link to your video so that I can have a look at it, and then I will add it to my website, and that people can choose which method they use when they're trying to create a combo. So there we go, a simple combo attack. Hope that was useful. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in your dreams.